Back at it.
Back.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Looking good.
You still same here.
We got some fleece on or what?
This is Tech Fleece, man. I'm a Tech Fleece guy. I'm
awesome.
a Tech Fleece guy, man. So Tech Fleece hat, Tech Fleece hoodie. I just love Nike Tech Fleece. One of my favorite brands
Very
outside. Favorite sections of Nike outside of ACG. But you got NBA or NBC. Wow. That's a throwback.
This too.
That's a throwback.
And that's a tie into what we got here on the table.
Yes,
too,
yes. We got some heat. This is the 1994 Power Players. Power Players. Kickstory. What you want to talk about this, my man? This is heat right here.
Yeah. So we got some David Robinson, Charles Barkley, and of course Jordan on the table.
Jordan. You know what? And we finally giving Jordan, giving other people some love.
For sure, of course. I'm a Jordan fan, but
same. I mean, he's a GOAT. What I do see is I see layers, and those layers are from the steel toe 10s. That means it's an OG.
Of course, man.
Those are
Rare
so
OGs.
lovely. Oh, now I know they had like different factories. You know what factory was that? A Taiwan? Cause that's a personal pair of yours, right?
It's a personal pair. Yeah, I believe this is a
Taiwan
Korean.
It's okay.
Yeah, I have to remember because they're wrapped right now, so everything's all like
Yeah. I know there was like little details from like different manufacturers, things of that nature. But Nike, bring those back. Retro those.
We'll see.
With the caps.
They're bringing everything back. I mean, they brought these back, right?
Yeah.
This is the latest release here.
So this is the latest release. This is a personal pair. These are they call them the Nike Air Max CB94 OG. Okay. Original name is the Nike Air Max 2 CB. Okay. Right. They didn't, OGs back in the days, they didn't date. They didn't give us numbers and dates and things of that nature. So that's a retro thing. I love and hate these.
I mean, at first glance, they look awesome.
I love and hate these. This is a new release. These came out August 2023.
Okay.
So new release at the time. These are labeled OG, and yeah, it got a lot of OG details. One thing that they've done as a retro. This is like the fourth retro that they've done.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, literally like the fourth retro. I would say the fifth because they had a low top version too.
CBB and Charles Barkley, of course.
Yeah, Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm. But you see this little purple overlay above the quote unquote Air Max, and they say Air Max 2 because this is supposed to be an Air Max 2 bubble, but this is not. That was a bigger expanded bubble. That's not the case.
Seam.
Yeah, it had its middle seam. That's not the case. But this is the first time they actually brought that OG detail, right? The purple. Okay. These were monumental. Well, let's continue. This is supposed to be black. Nike Air in the back supposed to be black.
It's all blacked out on the original.
It's supposed to be all black or a little like felt that pops out.
Oh, right.
This little patch area is supposed to be leather. I mean, I can go into details. Okay. This is purple. It's supposed to be Concord color. So more like a purple blue as opposed to deep purple.
Concord.
This little seam, this little tongue right here in the middle supposed to be black. So these little lines supposed to be black. This Air Max 2 logo is supposed to be purple.
I really broke it down.
I mean, listen, because I love details. Yeah. I love details. But overall, they've done a good job. I just wish that we can get a true OG with the finest, smallest details. But they're giving us little tricklings. And the back being purple is a real big deal because they never retroed like this before. But these are classic. Barkley wore these in the 94 season. This is the Phoenix. So this is the season after they lost to the Bulls. So they lost in 93, right?
Right.
Tinker and Tracy T, they designed these. I mean, these are just an amazing basketball shoe.
Design, man.
Yeah. And as you can see, this is like influenced by like a straight jacket. Somebody wearing like a straight jacket. You see that, right?
That's so cool.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, I love that.
That's kind of dope. But
that's cool.
I always wanted these as a kid. But during this time, this was the Jordan era. This was the 9s. This was the 10s. Yeah. So, as much as, and I can only really get one shoe a year, one or two shoes per year during this time. So, I felt right to have these pay homage to one of the most underrated power forwards in NBA history.
Heck yeah. No, Charles Barkley was a dude, man. He was quite a player. I mean, when you see this shoe, personally, when I see this shoe, it looks like a power player shoe, like a big guy shoe. You know what I'm saying? So it fits him really well. I think Tinker did a really awesome job to really design something after him. And obviously, he did the same for Jordan and every other player that he worked with. But I mean, the build of it looks strong. It looks like you can't contain this, this player, just like the straight jacket. It kind of it's a nice little funny detail that they added behind the design, right?
For sure. And then like what I love about shoes, especially the Air Limiters we'll talk about, it just gives you that 90s feeling. Just the fact that the shoe is like, I mean, it's purple, but it's supposed to be Concord, but just this color. To have a black and white shoe and pop it off with like a purple.
That's 90s right
That's
there.
90s.
That's 90s.
That's a 90s
with like the teals and the turquoise, like with the aqua 8s.
Yeah, man, 90s. So I love when Nike could bring back, that section of Kickstory, right? The history of kicks, and just really, really bring back the essence of what the 90s were, what the 80s were, things of that nature.
I'm always curious on like the details that you pointed out. For example, like this, why didn't they go with the blacked out one?
You know what?
I'm curious why. It's I would think it's an easy fix.
Charles Barkley enthusiasts, we all have said the same thing. Sneak enthusiasts have said the same thing. Every single retro that they've done of this model, specific model, it's always been white. It's always been white.
There's never been a black one.
Never been a black version.
There's never been a black version.
Yeah. I mean, even like a little detail, like you see this tongue up top, it's leather. That's supposed to be suede. Like, why is this leather? Where does leather come from? Now, they had a 2009 version. And the big controversy about these models is the color of the air bubble. Okay. So the 2009 version and this version 2023 were the only versions that had a clear air bubble, which is OG.
Okay.
The remaining models had a purple air bubble. Right, but the 2009 was good because it had like a suede tongue. I don't want to make
they had some things right, but then they missed out in other areas, right?
So we had an expectation in 2023 this was going to be the entire creme de la creme. This is going to be like the official OG, and they still,
because the name said it. I mean the name, right? It says like OG something, right?
Yeah, it says CB Air Max 2 CB, and it says 1990. It says 94 OG. So I
don't know how they determine that
to
be a 94.
It's all right.
But overall,
still amazing.
These are cool because, like you said, it's a hint towards the 94 power players. Charles Barkley dominated the game. He had the MVP back in 93. 94, he wanted that other opportunity to win the championship again because Jordan was retired.
Yeah.
Jordan was gone out of the picture, right? The next power teams were the Phoenix Suns, Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic.
Houston derailed his plans.
The Knicks. Those are the power teams of the East and West, right? So Charles Barkley wanted to, all right, this is our chance now, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they lost in the semifinals against the Houston Rockets.
Rockets. And you know what? That 94 is a key moment in Nike basketball history because it's the first year without Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like what
hence this right here.
Yeah. Hence those. Right. I want you to talk about those. I know that's your personal collection.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to talk about these Air Unlimiteds.
Yeah,
right.
Do it.
Now this is a retro. This was the only retro. Here you go. This is the only retro that they've done. This came out in 1994. This was worn by David Robinson. Played for the San Antonio Spurs. These are also worn by Grant Hill. Grant Hill wore these when he played for Duke.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. I remember seeing pictures of him.
Yes, sir.
So I remember the ankle support right here.
Yes, the ankle support's a beast. I mean, this strap, it's a beast when the laces stop almost to the bottom of your ankles, then you just got this monster support.
Yeah. I love that design, man. Like a nice high top like this.
Overall, they did a good job on the retro. This is once again 2016. The Nike right here is supposed to be stitched. It's plastered on there. And then the shape is a little boxy. Okay. But as you know, most OGs, they're usually more smooth. This one comes up a little bit.
True.
But this was a beast on the court. I mean, and this was like the era of the straps because 93 gave us the Air Raids, it gave us the Jordan 8s.
Yes, you're right.
And then we started getting the Air Carnivores. I mean, this is when straps was like, you put on straps to go to war.
The lockdown, for sure.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
When you look at this shoe, the first person you think of is David Robinson.
Yeah, it's a big man shoe. When you see this looks like this isn't a point guard shoe.
No.
You don't see, you see the build. Again, Nike did an awesome job of like, you see a shoe and you automatically can guess like what type of person stature it's for.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying?
For sure.
Like it just fits that type of person, So Dave Robinson, man, like, has the hints of this San Antonio, colors, then that type of thing. So it's really cool.
My kick story behind it is I never got these when I was a kid. I always wanted them. And one of the big reasons I wanted them, I remember watching highlights and David Robinson scored 71 points. And that was his career high. And I just remember, I'm like a young teen at this time, right? And I remember like, wow. And I believe he wore this shoe. I believe David Robinson wore the shoe when he scored 71 points in career high. And I remember seeing like, oh man, look at those shoes. Like, and I remember seeing him in the store and it had the straps on it. But as a young teen, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, it's all about Jordan.
Yeah.
In 94, 93, you know? So I didn't get these. So when they retroed these, I was like, okay, this is a must. And they've done a ton of collaborations with these in various colorways. That European brand, Piguel, they did a collaboration with these, and they just had tons of colorways that was just different. But I had to go with the OG model.
Of course, yeah.
You know, it was either these or the one that Chris Webber used to wear. Remember though, it was black and it had like a purple gray.
You're right, yeah.
That suede.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they retroed those too.
I remember now, right?
Yeah, but this is a classic David Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, so this is part of the 94.
For what year? 2016?
This is 2016, man.
Very clean.
Yeah, 2016.
Gotta put these on court, man. Come on.
I actually play ball in these. Yeah,
I can kind of see some of the wear. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I actually play ball in these, man. I didn't want to admit it to you, but yeah, these are some good ball kicks.
They look like it. I mean, the lockdown, the support. Yeah. This is what I miss about, you know, classic shoes like this, like, you know, the build. You know, that high top.
Yeah.
And to me, these look like they have support for basketball or some type of you know, athletic, you know, sport.
Lateral movement
and all that.
Jumping, things of that nature.
That's what I miss about this era. You know, the 94, I mean, in this example, really highlights the build, you know, for the type of player. You know what I'm saying?
So like it's specialized for the player as opposed to one shoe for all players.
Exactly right. Exactly right. No, that's well said right there. But yeah, like you said, you know, I think around that time, Jordan was always top tier when it comes to like basketball shoes. Whenever you think of basketball shoes, you're thinking Jordans. You know, that was always like the thing. So yeah, these got overlooked. Yep. You know, David Robinson, you know, you got your Charles Barkley, you got other players that were big men too, you know, Patrick Ewing, you know,
Lonzo Mourning,
man, he was bad. He was really cool.
He had some good signatures.
He did. Hakeem Olajuwon, you know, some of those players too, you know, up there when it comes to like the power players. But Shaq. Yeah, he was new to the scene too. He came into the league in 93.
Yeah.
And then 94 teamed up with Penny Hardaway. That was what a team, dude. What 94. A team.
94, it was almost like we needed Jordan. We needed Jordan to leave to put our lens on other great players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and
that's
to really
true.
like just have an open mindset.
Right.
And when Jordan came back, we was happy to have him, but at least we had like a year
to see what other players can bring to the table. Scottie Pippen was doing, you know, very well with the Chicago Bulls. He led the team.
MVP at 94 also.
Yeah, he led the team.
Yeah.
Anthony Hardaway was coming up.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, that being said, Jordan was retired.
Yep.
So what, 93, 94.
Yeah.
Jordan 9s. Around that era. So we got the 93
AKA
era.
Your favorite Jordans of all time.
My favorite Jordans of all times. I know I talk about these all the time. I speak about them very highly. Under the radar.
Yep.
No one really gives them that much love, but this is like my ultimate favorite shoe. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I can do it all day. But Jordan 9s, 1993. Again, you know, this was during Jordan's retirement.
So these came out in 93.
93.
And was it like a tell?
It was like a tell-in, yeah.
Tell 93,
so at the time, Jordan was retired. When I got my pair, this was like towards like already in 94. These were already in clearance. They were not a shoe that was important because Nike thought, you know, Jordan retired. They're not really going to sell much, right?
Yeah.
So they were already thinking about the 10s. Okay,
yeah.
they were already thinking about the 10s. The next model, in other words. The next model.
So the 9s was the Jordan of 94. But it didn't get that much love because he didn't wear them.
He didn't wear them on court. He never really got to see action. We saw commercials.
Yeah.
You know, with Charles Barkley, with another model that he had his first signature shoe, or, you know, his CB series, right? With the Jordan 9, with Michael Jordan in the commercial as well. But what makes these special going into 94 now?
Come on, look at those.
Is the Jordan 10s, the steels.
Can I just?
Of course, man. They're wrapped for our protection.
I don't
of course,
man. You know, I don't want to drop them or.
I actually wore these before I wrapped them up. So
you wore these.
I wore these. They're still wearable.
Recently.
Yeah. Probably like 2 years ago.
2 years.
But they're wearable. I mean, you squeeze them, you know, they still feel good.
Nice.
Little crunch sound because of the plastic, but toe cap, that's what makes these special. Now, talking about, you know, power players, obviously Jordan, and what makes these unique and special is that after the Jordan 9, Nike was already thinking about the next Jordans.
Yep.
to try to keep the momentum going. Okay,
not knowing if he's going to come back or not.
Exactly. The rumor was he may be coming back, so Tinker was already on the drawing boards, to try to come up with something new for him, right?
Yeah.
So Tinker was actually designing these without Jordan's input. Okay,
yep.
Hence the toe cap,
which are legendary now, but which back in the day you were like, oh, okay,
exactly right. So if you notice, if you do some research and backtrack to old Nike catalogs, they advertised the Jordan 10s with the toe cap. In East Bay, in the Nike catalogs and so on, they had the toe cap. When Jordan came back to the league and saw what was going on with this design, he's like, "What are you doing here?"
And that's every single
and even Tinker said himself that sales weren't that great, but once they removed it, once they made them smooth, a clean toe cap, sales went back up.
But it coincided. Correct me if I'm wrong. It coincided with him. I'm back.
Yeah,
that drove sales because
of course, right. The momentum was now true. Like okay, that rumor was true.
Because what was happening, from what I remember, and I was around like 12, 13 at this time. He didn't like the toe cap, so they started doing a bunch of colorways, but like specific to NBA players. I remember Mitch Richmond had like a colorway. They had like a Seattle colorway.
Yeah, Seattle colorways. Yeah.
And none of them had the toe caps. This is the only version that had this kind of toe stitching.
Actually,
am I correct?
The Shadows also had the toe cap.
The Shadows?
That was an OG colorway. The Shadows. The
was
gray.
It leather? Was the toe cap leather?
It was like the Nubuck.
Like Nubuck. Wait, but all right. So the Shadows had.
They had the
original Shadows that it came out in 94,
the first
95.
version. Yes, they had the toe cap.
Wow.
So again, that's
a Kickstory right there.
Yes, for sure. And I'm gonna definitely find those pictures. But they have on the catalog, like an East Bay catalog, they had these and they had these. They had these and they had the gray ones.
But the version, the Shadow 10 that Jordan wore was smooth.
That was out. Yeah, that was after the removal of the toe cap. Yeah,
right,
but the original, the first release, the first one that went along with this release. Those are the two colors that came out. It was the Shadows and this one. Those were the first two releases.
Got you.
And they came out with toe caps. But Jordan saw the toe cap, got rid of them.
No.
There was already some that already got sold because they were already in stores by then. So hence the ones I have in my hand. So these were already in circulation.
But they never made an OG without toe caps in the stills.
They've never made a retro.
They never made the OG always had the toe cap for the stills, always. Mm-hmm. But you would say about retro? What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say they haven't released. I thought you were gonna say they haven't released a retro with the toe cap.
And they have,
That's true.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that people are pushing for that. They're trying to influence Nike.
Come on, Nike, give us toe cap stills.
What Nike has done recently, I've noticed, and you probably noticed too, is they're trying to bring back those specialty PEs.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the Concords that they recently released, they had the 45 on the back.
Yeah.
They kind of, told that story, that under the radar story about like when they first released, they had 45 on the back.
Yeah.
So that was a kind of a cool little, piece of history that Nike was trying to do.
Yeah.
They released the PE foam posits for pennies, the all white ones.
Yeah.
Finally, they released this PE. So Nike, they've done a good job of releasing some of those, under the radar stories.
Yeah.
So you never know; they might bring back these as a retro.
Yeah.
To kind of fulfill those little stories.
For sure.
But going back to the whole power players, obviously you had Jordan always on top of the game. When it comes to basketball.
He was on top of the game even when he wasn't in the NBA.
That's true.
Still had influence.
Yeah, his shoes are still selling.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, for the most part. But then when these came out, man, I remember seeing these for the first time. There was a kid at the bus stop.
Okay.
He was wearing these, and now that I think about it, I don't remember if he was wearing this version or the clean ones. Okay. I want to say he was wearing the smooth toe cap ones.
Wait, but they never had a smooth. They never released smooth toe cap.
Yeah, you did.
OG?
OG. That was your original question. That was your original question, right? My bad. I misunderstood it. So okay, so they recalled these. Okay, and then they re-released them in OG.
So they have OG
They have
smooth?
OGs with a smooth.
I've never seen a picture of that.
Because Jordan is wearing them. He's wearing the double nickels.
No, but you saw in different colorways. So let's.
Oh, you're talking about? I'm sorry. You're talking about the steals.
I'm talking about steals. Specifically, the steals. I call them
the Chicago colorways.
No,
I got you.
No. So from what I know, from what I remember, the steals are the only one that had the stitching. You mentioned I gotta see those shadows. Never seen those shadows. The only time I've seen shadows that had stitching was on youth sizes. Youth sizes, I remember seeing stitching this toe, but I've never seen a men's shadow. So I need to see those pictures.
Yeah.
But what you saying would come back. The double nickels. Everything else was smooth.
Okay.
Right. Everything else was smooth. But I correct me if I'm wrong because I never seen a shadow that had smooth OG.
That's a good one because I want to say he wore the smooth ones, and I could be wrong. In the charity game that Jordan he wore the toe caps.
Because that was my first.
Because there's a lot of like unclear pictures during that game.
Oh no, you can see some pictures online. He's clearly wearing the toe caps. They never. I'm almost positive they never had a non-toe cap steel version. OG, never. And I
want to say there was because Jordan
Kickstory debate.
Yes, that's great. No, this is what it's all about.
Like a poll, like Goatee and Bobby Kicks. Kickstory debate. Go ahead.
Because, like I said, Jordan saw these and he said, "No, get rid of that and re-release them."
And he had every single color after that had no toe cap.
Okay.
But this is why we're doing Kickstory
for sure,
right? So we're gonna come. You know what we're gonna do?
It opens new doors for sure.
We're gonna come back on an episode.
We're gonna definitely highlight these on its own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this
is a whole nother thing for sure.
That's true.
But big picture, 94 power players.
That's true.
For me, this is awesome. This definitely represents that
Barkley,
era.
D-Rob.
You know, and this is obviously, like you said, the latest release. So I'm very excited to see these.
Yeah,
releasing more of the Charles Barkley.
Give us the Godzillas, what they call it, the CB34 Max, and is this the expansion of the teeth? Give us some more David Robinson. David Robinson, he never really had a signature, but he had some. He had the pumps, the side pumps, the command force,
air command force.
He had the other. I think it was another command force 2. I mean, David Robinson had some amazing shoes, but never had a D. Robinson signature.
No, yeah,
but he's a power player.
What I noticed is that Nike used the Air Force line for him. They advertised the Air Force line for him.
Yeah.
They designed a lot of the clothing, a lot of the color schemes.
Yeah.
That gravitated towards him.
Yeah. So he was like one of the signatures. He was almost a poster boy.
Exactly
for the
right.
line.
That's what they did, and I don't understand why they didn't give him a signature, like you said. Because he was definitely like a power player. During that era. I mean, like
he was that guy.
He was definitely a guy, and it was awesome to see him finally win his championship.
Yeah.
When Tim Duncan came to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Twin Towers, the new Twin Towers. It was kind of a neat thing to see.
Yeah.
But '94 was an awesome year because, like I said, Jordan was retired, like you said, and other teams were coming up. Houston Rockets. San Antonio, Orlando, the Suns.
Yeah.
The Knicks were finally all right. Finally, we got over that hump.
Knicks went to the championship.
Yeah, man. That was cool to see.
94 was an amazing year. I'm glad we were able to recap just some meaningful power players that meant what it meant to us.
For sure.
And where we were in 1994 and some of the Kickstory and the kick story behind it. Bobby Kicks, man, appreciate it as always, man. Hey, we're gonna come back. We're gonna review the Steel Toes. We're gonna have an in-depth discussion, deep dive on the Steel Toes, man. I'm excited about that episode.
But I'm glad you bought these, man. This is something cool to actually see on hand. I've never seen these on hand.
Yeah. Oh, it's first time seeing them.
First time seeing them.
Nice. Yeah. The straight jackets.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that little hint.
All right, man. I'm Goatee.
Yeah, man. I'm Bobby Kicks, man. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode, Kickstory. Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Kickstory. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. And stay connected with us on Instagram and these podcast platforms listed here. We also want to hear from you. So make sure to comment below and give us your thoughts. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you next time.